Hi everybody, Brian from Steeda.com, here today to show you our adjustable Swaybar Endlinks for the S550 Mustang. The purpose of the Swaybar Endlinks is to connect the sway bars to the suspension. Now we talked in our other videos about the sway bar and the effects that they have on the car, the positive effects of course. Now we also talked about how the sway bars mount to the chassis with D-brackets. Well, they mount at the suspension with Endlinks, and thus here we are. Due to their location, the Swaybar Endlinks play a key role to the way that the suspension, especially the anti-roll bars, work. Now this is important because as the suspension compresses and rebounds, the Endlinks will move with it. Again, they attach at the front to the strut, at the rear to the control arms. So with each movement of the control arms or the struts, the Endlink has to move and it's going to push against the sway bar. Now driving down the road, these will work in unison. The suspension is going to travel, again assuming the road's flat, it's going to travel equal side to side, left to right. The Endlinks are going to control the sway bar. There's not going to be any real tension against one side or the other. Now as we get into a roll situation, again whether we're carving canyons, going to an autocross event or a track day, when the car wants to lean, it's really up to the Endlink to communicate with the sway bar or physically work against the sway bar or with the sway bar. So as you go into a roll situation, this side's going to ultimately push against this side. And this side, even though it's unloaded, is actually trying to pull up against the spring. So thus you get your anti-roll, your sway bar setup, but the Endlinks are what are making this happen at the most important points. So, why change your factory Endlinks? One reason, strength. We use high-grade components including aerospace aluminum for the connecting collar as well as hardened steel for the ball studs. This ensures a lifetime of durability regardless of what sway bar you use these with. Now that's also important to note that these are compatible with the factory sway bar, any of our Steeda sway bars including our massive 1.5-inch front sway bar, as well as other aftermarket bars that can be matched with the factory Endlinks. Another reason to upgrade to our adjustable Endlinks is adjustability. Now, a lot of you have lowered your cars or plan to lower your car very soon. And when you do this, you inadvertently change the position of the sway bar. It changes the angle of the arms. Our adjustable Endlinks will allow you to bring that back to the factory angle, and this will bring back the effectiveness of the sway bar, whether it be a factory bar or aftermarket bars. The adjustability of our Endlinks is also paramount when used in conjunction with adjustable sway bars, like ours, where you can adjust it from a stiffer position to a middle position to a softer position. And with each of these positions means you may need to adjust the length of the Endlink, longer or shorter, to bring the sway bar back to the factory angle. This also means that while the car's suspension is at a static state, you can make sure that there's no additional preload or artificial spring rate into the sway bars. What this means is that from the factory, and really anytime you lower the car, whatever it might be, there's little variances left to right, corner to corner in the car. And this can create an artificial spring rate, meaning that the sway bar may have just a little bit of tension on one side, which might actually create a little bit of ride height difference on the other side. So by doing this, you can actually run the Endlinks at slightly different lengths to take away any type of preload on the sway bar. This means the car will be perfectly balanced left to right, and especially if you're autocrossing the car or going to track days, you will notice this difference. We've also made the Endlinks very easy to adjust so that you don't have to remove them. Any changes can be made on the car simply by turning the collar to either lengthen or shorten the Endlinks to the desired length. Our Endlinks are a direct replacement for the factory pieces and don't require any modifications to the car. We also back these with our lifetime guarantee. We offer these as a complete set or as front or rear sets. We proudly manufacture them in the USA at our Valdosta, Georgia facility. Tell us, what sway bars do you have our Endlinks paired with? If you have any questions or comments, post them below. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please be sure to share it with other like-minded enthusiasts. Don't forget to follow us on social media, and most of all, have a great day.